guys, in this video we're going to have a go at making a Stormtrooper helmet. So I've got a little cake card, this one's 6 inches, and I've got a slightly larger cake, this one's 8 inches. Now I've baked ginger cake and I'll put a recipe below in the description box. And I've got a dome for the top and another 6-inch one, so a little bit smaller than my other round one. And I'm just going to put a little bit of buttercream onto my cake board and I'll just stick that on a mat so that I can get it off easier. So I'll start with my larger 8-inch cake. It's a bit bigger than my cake board, but that's fine because we're going to trim some off. And I'm just going to layer it up now, putting buttercream between that. And I'm going to repeat layering them up, putting the 6-inch one on next, keeping going, and then adding the dome one on the top, like that. So it's a bit messy at the moment, but we'll neaten that up. So I'm going to take quite a bit of the bottom cake off at the back and then bring it round the sides, take a little bit off, but not loads. So there's still a bit poking out at the sides, with the most amount poking out at the front. And I'm just narrowing it down slightly at either side. Only a small amount, you don't need to take much off for this. So do the same on both sides, try and get it as even as you can. I think mine might be slightly out. And I'm just going to cut a slight diagonal either side, halfway up the helmet, for where the eyes are going to go. And we're going to trim a little bit more off the front. So straight bit directly across the front of the bottom and at either side. And I'm just going to build a little bit more onto the nose with some of my cake offcuts, like that, just to make that a bit bigger. And we'll stick a bit across the centre, coming down the nose part as well. So you can cover them in buttercream or chocolate ganache. I've chosen to do mine in white chocolate ganache because it's just a little bit firmer for me to work with. Get it as smooth as you can. Give it a little bit of time to set. If you need to, put it in the fridge for 10 minutes to speed up the hardening of the white chocolate ganache. And then once we've done that, we're going to cover the entire thing in a large sheet of white fondant that we've rolled out. And we're going to smooth that down everywhere. You need to work reasonably quickly so that the fondant doesn't have time to dry and crack while you're working with it. Just keep going gradually, trying to pull out any creases as you go around. And then press a little bit firmer where the eyes are so you're getting nice indentation around the eye area. And push sort of underneath as well. So I've just got a little modelling tool here that we're just using to push under the edge. And then once you've done that, you can trim all that extra fondant off. Now I've iced a cake board in black and I'm just going to pop my cake onto there. Now I've just used a little bit of water to make the black fondant go sticky to attach it to, but you can use royal icing or buttercream or even your white chocolate ganache. I'm just pressing the front of the nose area or the mouth area with one of my smoothers to flatten it down a little bit. So I've got a little modelling tool that we're just going to work on shaping the eyes with. So we're going to indent them a little bit. And I've cut out a piece of paper to the size that I want the eye to be, which I'm going to use as a bit of a template to draw around. It's almost a triangle shape, but with curved edges or curved corners. And I'm just drawing around that lightly so that I know where it wants to be. And then I'm just going to press in within the inside of that line that I've just drawn on and indent that whole eye. I'll turn my template around and do exactly the same for the other eye. If you want, you can just stick the eyes on, you don't have to indent it like I have done. So I've used my paper template again now to cut out 2 black pieces of fondant, and we're just going to push those into the indentations that you've made. And just try and smooth off the edges as much as you can, and repeat the same for the other eye. And what we're going to do next is put an indentation in for a line that goes under his eyes and across the nose area. So leave a bit of a gap under the eyes and follow that round. I'm just going to bring it up to the side of the eye bit, but not to the very top. Do the same on the other side. And now we're going to put a dint in the mouth area, so the top of the mouth area almost, and anything rounded, I'm just using my little rolling pin that I've got because it's about the right size and shape. And then I'm going to put another dint at either side. So using the rolling pin, I've also tried to get half of a dint or half of a sort of semicircle at the bottom area of the mouth as well. So we'll give those a bit more definition with our modelling tool. It sort of joins up those dints. So I'm just putting a dint in the centre of the mouth area now. Don't worry too much about this being neat as it's going to be covered shortly. And use your modelling tool across the sides of the face there to give it a bit more definition if you need to. And again, we're going to draw another line in, so part way up the nose area, draw a line all the way across and across the sides of those mouth bits. And we're going to do another one just above it, but instead of taking it all the way down the sides, just bring it to a point at either side. And I'm just indenting that a little bit in the middle, so it looks a bit more set back than the rest of the face, or the rest of the helmet. So let's put some more lines on the helmet now, and I'm going to draw one so from the top of the eye round the side to the back of the head. And then we're going to draw a little piece on the side of the head here. So I'm not entirely sure how to describe the shape I'm drawing on here, but it's going to look a little bit like an air vent of some kind. So we'll draw a rough kind of rectangular-ish shape, and then we're going to put some lines through it like this. And we'll just repeat the same on the other side. I've rolled out some black fondant now that we're going to use for a strip around the top of the helmet, so just above the eye area. To cut a nice thin strip, use a ruler so you get a nice straight line. I'm going to stick it on with a little bit of water, or you can use edible glue. And it's just going to come halfway round either side of the helmet is that piece. And then we're going to draw another little shape just above that black line on either side of the head. And use a picture or a drawing as a reference for where you need to put all the lines. Then we're going to add some lines partway up the nose area. And 2 black balls are just going to get stuck in the circle either side of the mouth. I'm just going to poke a little hole into the centre of those, like that. And I'm going to cut a black piece for the mouth area. So 2 lines going up, and then we'll bring it out at either side. Then a couple more lines out to the side. Almost a bit like a cross shape, but the bottom of the cross sort of curves outwards a little bit and is a little bit longer. Take a little square at the top from either side, and then we're going to add some lines running down from top to bottom. And we're going to stick this on the nose area, so with that wider curved bit at the bottom, just push that in place like that. This time we're going to use white fondant, and we're going to cut a thin strip that's going to go on the side of the head, and we're going to do this on either side. Just cut it so it only comes part way up, and we want a round circle cutter for the top bit. Just push that so it overlaps over that line you've put on. Give it a nice firm push down to make sure it stays in place. And I've got a small circle cutter that we're just going to push in so it looks like there's some screws in the helmet, and a little line running through each of those. Little rectangular piece of grey to go in the middle. Do the same on the other side. Now we need to add some blue lines, so I've got a navy blue. I've cut a long strip, and then we're going to cut tiny pieces off that. I'm going to stick these along the side of the helmet. Leave a gap between each one if you can, and then do the same on the other side. And now we're going to use some powdered edible dusts for painting on the helmet. And I'm actually just using a little bit of water with these, but you can use a clear alcohol with them if you want to mix it into. And I'm going to paint the piece on the nose in black and grey. Now I'm just using the black, and I've watered it down more for the grey areas, and it's more intense, so there's more powder in the bits that are black. And then I'm going to add a little bit of shading anywhere that would be in the shadow, so around that mouth area, and a little bit along the lines under his eyes. And then if we want his helmet to look a little bit grubby looking, a little bit dirty, just add some extra bits coming down from that dark line. Just give it a bit of a rub with your finger to spread it out. Keep it quite diluted, otherwise you'll end up with a really strong colour. So you can see that one wasn't as diluted, and I'm going to rub through that with my finger to sort of spread it out. Keeping it slightly deeper in colour when you go around the edges, and then these little pieces above the black band we're going to do a little bit deeper. And again, these side cheek bits that look like air vents go again a little bit darker with. So at the moment we've just used the black. I got out a few different colours to use, but I just stuck with black for that. There it is finished. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.
If you liked this video and would like to see more, please click on the images of the other videos suggested. Also, please do subscribe to my channel using the button at the bottom right hand corner of the screen. You can also visit my cake website and my Facebook page to see more cakes and ideas.